Hello everyone! Let's do this punch needle together today. The materials I used are all in this kit. There are 7 colors of yarn and 2 felt balls in it. The picture has been drawn on the picture frame. An outer frame that matches the picture frame is optional. Find a leisurely afternoon. Make a cup of tea. Let's make it slowly. The side with the artwork is the back side. We start our work on this side, and then when it's finally shown, it's on this side, which is the front. This punch needle has 4 leads. The longer the metal head in front is, the higher the yarn loop will be. The first step is threading the needle. Use your index finger to block the diagonal opening in front. Then push the threader through the hole, all the way to the end. Then we take out the yarn. Put it into this circle at the back, and pull the threader and the yarn out from the front. Adjust the yarn left in front. Generally speaking, 2 to 3 centimeters is enough. Let's make this area first. Adjust the needle to length B. Find a corner and push the needle in until the handle touches the fabric. Then we gently pull the needle out. Now, a loop of yarn is made on the fabric. When we pull the needle out, we stop pulling when we just see the tip of the needle, keeping the needle tip really close to the fabric while we move it forward, about 3 to 4 holes apart. We push the needle in again until the handle touches the fabric. Just like that, we move our needle forward again. We want to make the opening of the needle always facing the direction we want to go, so that it will always make smooth stitches. Changing direction is super easy, since we want to make sure the opening of the needle always facing the direction we want to go. We could rotate the punch needle on the corner, or as we go. When doing our stitches, we want to make sure the yarn is laying freely on top of our hand. It is loose, and there is slack on the side. Now let me demonstrate what will happen if we forget to free the yarn and there is tension on the behind. As you can see, now the yarn is under my hand, and so it is not loose and free. If we do stitches under this situation, the tension will be preventing the yarn from staying in the fabric, and so the loop will be shorter, or even the yarn will not stay in the fabric at all. If you find on the front there are uneven loops, or the yarn won't stay in the fabric, check if there is tension pulling out the yarn. It's always the #1 reason. If you want to fix this problem, or any other mistake, it is quite easy. Just pull out the yarn, and use the punch needle's tip to scratch the cloth gently. The magic happens. The big holes disappeared like nothing happened. And then when you want to make the new stitch, gently pull the yarn from the back of the needle until you feel the tension, and then redo the stitches. For each area, we do our first lap on the contour of the shape, and then fill it in lap by lap. Just like that, the shape will be filled in with yarns. When we finished a certain shape, slowly pull out the needle until you see the tip of it, and then use the other hand to press firmly on the yarn while pulling out the needle furthermore. Then leave about 1 centimeter and snip the thread. Let us take a break and feel these cute furry loops on the front. Using the same yarn, now, let us make this area. Set the punch needle to height C. The way to fill in this area is the same as the previous one. Remember to keep the opening of the needle always facing the direction we want to go. The yarn will slowly fill this area as well. Let's thread the punch needle with this dark green yarn. We will fill in these 2 areas. The punch needle is still in height C. Keep in mind that we always want to leave slack on the side. Flip to the front. It looks like the 2 areas are merged as one for now. It doesn't matter because later, a beautiful yarn will separate them. Now let us change to a lighter green. Still use height C for the punch needle to fill in this area. Use this red yarn and 2 different heights of the punch needle. We can make the area looks like a slice of pizza. It's not as hard as you might think. We use height A for the higher loops on the rim, then adjust to height C for lower loops in the middle. The rim can be made with 2 rows of yarn, and then fill in the middle until this area is fully covered with yarn. Sometimes we will get 1 or 2 super high loop. It is quite normal, and we could just snip it off. And now, let's do something different to make this piece more textured. We will be using this blunt yarn needle. Use the same threader to thread the needle. Cut off a section of the purple yarn. We start from the back side of the frame. Push the needle in from the lower left corner and pull it out from the top left corner. Tie a tight knot twice to lock the yarn in place. From now, we can flip the frame to the front and work from the front. It will be easier for us to keep an eye on the neighboring areas. If you look closely, our fabric is made of grid, so when we push the needle in again, we could find the hole just in the next column. This way, our pattern will be all parallel and neat. When we choose the hole to put the needle in, we want to make sure the hole is not already holed yarn, like this one, because the needle will possibly bring the previous yarn out too. What we want to do is to choose the new hole to place our needle. If the yarn is running out, or if we want to finish an area, we can flip to the back again and tie the tail onto the yarn so that the yarns are all securely attached with the frame. Snip the tail off, leaving only 1 centimeter is enough, and then we take a new section of yarn and repeat this process. Alright, now this area is filled in with yarns. To make a decoration in this area, we will be using the gold yarn. I planned to decorate it at these 3 spots, however, you could decorate at wherever you like. It's done in a very similar way. Push the needle through from the back, and push the needle back to form a short line in the front. Tie the knot twice to lock the yarn in place. Make another 2 lines using the same technique, with the middle one the longest. So our first decoration is done. No need to cut the yarn apart. We can continue to make the second and third decorations. Then we tie the tail onto the yarn, like before. And then repeat the process for all similar areas. Wow, it's almost done now. Next, we put some final touch on it. Take out these 2 felt balls. Let's flatten them a little bit. Using the needle, let's pierce a hole in the middle. The positioning of the 2 balls will be like this. Take a section of the red yarn and separate the 2 colors. We will be using the dark red merino wool. Thread it into the needle, then turn the picture frame to the back. Put the ball on the position, we could find the center of the area. Push the needle through the cloth. There has been a hole in the middle of the ball just now, so the needle can now go through it with no effort. By pushing the needle back and tying knot twice, the ball is tied on the cloth. Now we will repeat 5 times to secure the ball. We push the needle to the front again and push it back through the hole in the middle of the ball. When it's all finished, we tie the tail on neighboring yarns, like we did before. Using the same technique to secure the second ball. Since the ball is smaller, 3 laps of yarn will be enough. Now we are really close to the finish. And let us add some furriness to this fiber art project. Take this faux fur yarn, thread the punch needle, set the punch needle to height A. The technique is, as we did just now. However, since we want the loop to show up high and furry, every time when the needle has been in the cloth, we can use our left hand to pull the yarn, while our right hand pulling out the punch needle. This way, a higher loop will mate on the cloth. Since these loops are very furry, we don't have to punch it as densely as before. I only made 9 stitches in total for this small square. As you can see from the back, there is still a large gap, but the front is all beautifully covered, and that's enough. Okay, now we're going to make these 2 areas. It is the same technique. Please be careful not to punch on your fingers. As an art piece that we usually hang on the wall or place it on the shelf. The yarns are quite safe because they were held by the tension of the fabric and will not fall out unless being pulled out with some force. To make it even more secure, in this kit, I provided a felt backing with adhesive tape on one side. You could stick it carefully on the back of the frame. Please note that once it had been sticked onto it, we do not want to peel it off again, since it will possibly bring the yarn out from the fabric with its sticky side. Congrats! You have created your own punch needle art piece. I hope you love what you've made with your hand, and that you enjoy this whole process. If you haven't got this kit, and wish to do the exact project yourself, you could find this kit and more in my Etsy shop, Tiny Hand Rocks. I've also put the link in the description below. If you liked the video, click the like button and it will help me a lot. Have a nice day and see you next time.